What's up, people? We are live with the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James. With us co-host, as always, Kaelyn. Kaelyn, traffic sucked, so we're a little bit behind today, but it's okay because it's the holidays. It's Christmas time. Joy to all. Good. It's good for everyone. Happiness. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
All of them.
and every holiday you can think of. Go Krampus. Go Santa. Yeah. Krampus. Yay. All right. Now, I wasn't able to bring up the event card on UFC because that's how we like to look at things, is using the UFC website. But in our picks, you beat me by one. You got 5 right, and I got 4 right. That was the Aldo fight where Aldo won by decision. Clay Guida won by choke, which surprised me.
That was a great fight, actually.
That was a good fight. That was good.
That was crazy.
Curtis won by, I want to say, knockout. Well, one thing that I did pick up on for that card that really tripped me out was, what's up with all the dudes rocking mullets?
I know. Yeah, I don't know.
When did, my cousin rocks a mullet from time to time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it seems like all these dudes are rocking mullets again.
You know what? It's funny you said that because I have a few friends that have kids that are in high school or, middle school or whatever, and they're doing that too. I think that's the style.
That's so weird that's making a comeback.
It is, but it's like
in a really weird way type of comeback.
It's a different type of mullet, but it's still a mullet.
It's a mullet.
Yeah.
Business up front, party in the back. All right.
They do something weird where they shave the sides, kind of cool though, not dorky, but it's still a mullet. So
when I was a kid, I had a mullet. It was more of a ducktail style though.
Oh yeah. No, that was my brother also. He had that.
Yeah.
That's funny. That was normal.
But I was still not by any stretch cool. Yeah, no. Wasn't one of the cool kids. All right. Bellator happened last week as well, with Sergio Pettis defending his title. And
yeah, that was
that fight. Oh yes. Let's go ahead and get into that. So we had Johnny Eblin. He won. Oh, by the way, on Bellator, I got 3. You got 2. I won this one. So
okay.
Let's put a W next to all my L's. So that works for me. And then we had Josh Hill getting the TKO win, Jeremy Kennedy getting the decision win, and we both picked Sanchez on that one. That was a losing.
Yeah.
And then we were split here.
Yeah.
And I picked Sergio Pettis, and he won.
Yeah.
With an amazing finish to that fight as well.
The way he won was just so crazy.
I know. It was amazing. I loved it. And I was kind of flabbergasted. I was like,
I was surprised when I saw that highlight. And I was like, whoa, that's
right.
Not only a knockout, but that's like a rare knockout also.
So good for him. Thank you for helping me out with that win. Appreciate you, Sergio. You're a good dude. Good champ.
Hey, that's cool. He's got the belt though. I think that's cool. We'll see how long he has it. I think that's interesting. And then good for Sergio Pettis, and also Anthony Pettis. It was kind of cool to see his brother have the belt instead,
Mm-hmm. Stay golden, pony boy.
Yeah.
And now we're going to move back to the UFC. This was we talked about previous events. And we have UFC 269 this weekend. Big pay-per-view, folks. And we're going to start at the bottom for our picks with Raulian Pavia versus Sean O'Malley. The craziest hair dude I've ever seen. Looks like
his hair is out of control. It's a little cool though. I like the colors. Looks like
I feel like yeah, it does, but I feel like he looks like a coked out Sideshow Bob.
Yes. And no, yeah, you're right, because I saw little clips of the conference and that's exactly what that looked like. Yeah.
We have 21-3 versus 14-1. O'Malley is usually the favorite just because of his style, the way.
Hold on, O'Malley only has 1 loss? I thought he had
That's what it
2.
says here. He may.
I think he does. I could be wrong. Memory's not that great, but I remember he broke his foot on one of them, lost though, blamed it on something else. I don't know. And then I thought he lost before that too. I don't know. I could have sworn he lost more than one, but I could be wrong.
Well,
Raulian Pavia is doing well. I know that. I don't know. I'd like to say Sean O'Malley because I like him, and but after his last, well, not his last fight, the one before that, when he had that foot issue and stuff like that, when he didn't look too well, I don't know. He's not. I don't know. I don't know enough about Pavia to say this is how he's going to win and how.
Yeah,
but
I really don't either. But when you look at it, he will go the distance. If the fight goes the distance, he will get the win. Let's just be from the stats. Let's just look at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick him.
You're gonna pick
Pavia.
All right. You know what? I will go with Sideshow Cokehead.
Okay. Sideshow Malley.
Yeah. He looks like he came straight out of Modesto because of the meth usage.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if he's a meth head. I'm just saying. Like, if the
I don't know.
Fits. All right, moving up the card, we have Kai Kara France, which is the weirdest name that I can pronounce, versus Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, so this fight has been talked about for a while before it actually came into an actual fight. Because I know Garbrandt was looking for a fight, didn't know who we could fight. I think people were turning him down, he said, a while back. But everyone's like, hey, you should
got
fight.
No love.
Exactly. And everyone was just like, hey, you should fight Kai Kara France. I think he's next for you. And sure enough, there you go. I'm going to pick Garbrandt. I like him.
Pick Garbrandt.
I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. He's up and down sometimes. Kai Kara France has a lot of experience.
22-9 with 1 no contest versus 12-4.
Yeah, but
we have France coming off of a win. Garbrandt, you're right. Garbrandt's been fighting against top opponents. That's very true.
The whole time, pretty much.
But Garbrandt is coming off of a loss.
Yeah.
I do agree. The reach advantage goes to France, while the leg reach, only by an inch, though, goes to Garbrandt.
Yeah.
Wow. Garbrandt, what's submission? I've never heard of a submission.
True.
According to Garbrandt.
This one will be tough, I think. I think this will be a really good fight, actually.
I hope it is, because it seems like it should be from the way the stats are arranged.
Number 6 and number 7, that's always a good fight, no matter who it is.
True. And with Kai Kara France, don't blink.
We'll see. I'm going for Cody Garbrandt because I like him, but I think it's going to be a tough fight.
I'll go against the grain. I'll pick Kai Kara France.
He just has so many fights, man.
I know. It's insane. Hence why I'm going with him. But you're right about Garbrandt. Garbrandt has fought top opponents all the whole time.
Yeah.
So I do give him that, but we shall see. That's for sure. Now we have Jeff Neal versus Santiago Ponzibio.
Yeah.
Jeff Neal is coming off of a DWI.
I was going to say that, and like a weapons charge.
Yeah. So he's had that going on, but
cool.
I believe he was there, made weight. Everything should be okay. He's 13-4 versus Santiago's 29-4. Neal's coming off of a loss. Well, back-to-back losses because that arrest did not help. And Santiago's coming off of a win. Neal has the reach advantage and the leg reach advantage, but only by a slight margin.
Interesting. This is gonna be a good fight, actually.
Number 12 versus number 14. I have to agree.
Oh man, I'm gonna pick Santiago for this one. I don't know. Something tells me Jeff Neal's got a lot on his plate right now.
I agree with that, and that's why I'm
might be distracted. I don't know.
We'll see. He's like, man, I gotta fight to pay my lawyers. I'm gonna beat this mother.
Yeah.
Good. We shall see. All right, let's go ahead and keep going up the card. Oh, and now we're here at the women's bantamweight title fight between Amanda Nunes, the Lioness, the GOAT, the baddest woman on the planet. I don't care what anyone says. Versus Juliana Pena, 21-4 versus 11-4. Wow, 10 more wins. Ooh.
Well, Juliana Pena hasn't been as active either. She took a long time off, I think, a while back. But also, what do you think about this fight? What do you think is going to happen?
I think it's going to be Nunes by murder.
Really? Yeah. I do think Nunes is going to win for sure. I don't know if it'll be that easy, but I just don't have any confidence in Juliana Pena. She's not consistent, so it's hard to know based off of memory.
She's coming off of a win, but she's also fighting the champ who's the GOAT.
Yeah, and she keeps saying how she's been trying to fight her and she's been saying no or something. I don't think that that's true. I just don't see Juliana Pena winning the belt from Nunes. And I hope Nunes is ready. I hope she's not distracted or over it, because it's been so long. And that usually happens. Like, they go sometimes. Like, sometimes they do lose their belt after so long. And I don't know. I think Nunes does take it seriously every time, but I don't know. I don't see Pena winning. So I don't know if it'll be an easy fight. It might, but I think Nunes is going to win for sure, though.
All right. Now we are on to the male championship bout. For the lightweight title, we have Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. 31-8 and 1 no contest versus 28-6 and 1 no contest. Both fighters coming off of wins. I believe this is Oliveira's first title defense. Oliveira also has the reach and leg reach advantage. Yes, I believe so. Wow. Okay. I'm just going to pick Poirier. I like Poirier.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is his first defense because he got the belt fighting Chandler, and it was up for grabs.
That's right, because it was it was vacated.
Yeah. Wow, Dustin Poirier is doing so well. Like, he's on a tear right now.
He really is. That's why I'm picking him.
Yeah. Okay. Oliveira's good too. Like, watching that fight against Chandler though, he was flawless. It looked flawless. So, man, I don't know. That's gonna be a good fight though. I don't know who's gonna win this one. So I can see Poirier getting it because he's, it's his time, but it's also Charles Oliveira's time too. It's like they're both good. This is a hard choice. Oh, man.
Do you want me to wait while you flip a coin?
No, I'll just pick Dustin because I can see him winning by like a knockout or something. But Charles Oliveira is so good. I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way, but I will pick Dustin.
Yeah, I'm not either. And usually I try to do the reverse psychology, but I want Poirier to win, and I don't want to pick Oliveira.
I do like Charles, though, too. I'd like to see him keep his belt that he just won. I hate seeing that belt leave right away. Whoever it is.
I'm all right. There was a time in the random note, there was a time in the light heavyweight division where the title was changing hands just about every other fight. So I'm used to it. It sucks, but it is what it is. If Oliveira lost the belt, I'd be like, cool, because Dustin
no love
won.
Lost, I guess, because he didn't have it for that long. But
exactly, that's why it wouldn't bother
it'll be
me.
Either
and
way.
I want Poirier to win, so I do want him to have the belt.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah, but I completely agree.
He's done so much, though. Even without this belt, he's a champ.
Yeah.
So without, and it's
he's
like
weird. Champ.
It's weird to see him fight for a belt. It's like he's already a champion, in my eyes. And I'm like, oh, he actually doesn't have the belt for some reason. Got the thought in my head he is the champion just because he's fought in everyone and done so well.
He's fought in so many top contenders.
Yeah. He fights good fights. I like that. He fights good fights over belts. Like he waited for this one. So I don't know.
So those are our picks for the UFC this weekend, UFC 269 on pay-per-view. We do have some news that sucks. a local fighter from Lemoore, Alex Perez. His fight got cut from the card, unfortunately, because the guy he was fighting, he made weight, but something wasn't right with him medically, and so they just pulled the bout completely. So his fight has been pulled from the card, which is unfortunate.
Probably a bad weight cut, as I said
earlier.
Probably,
yeah, more than likely.
It has to be. I mean, what else could it be? You know, I don't know, unless it's an injury, but they would say injury, I feel like. But
yeah,
they would
announce that. And if a fighter's injured, he's not going to weigh-ins.
Yeah, true.
So, and then we have Dominic Cruz fighting on this card in the prelims.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either, but it makes sense because he's had some words for his commentary partner, Daniel Cormier.
That was weird. Like, is he trying to get attention? I'm like, this is off the wall a little bit.
I don't know, but they're kind of jabbing at each other verbally, doing some verbal sparring.
Well, Cruz started it, didn't he?
Yes, he did, by talking about how Cormier doesn't do his homework and finds him to be unprepared for broadcasts.
Homework? What homework? Okay, I'm not like the biggest fan of DC, and I'm not the biggest fan of DC's commentary either, but for a different reason, like pretty much the opposite reason. And I don't know what kind of homework DC would be doing. He seems already.
I'm pretty sure what he means is probably having some notes that prep you on the fighters' wins, fighters' losses, who they've competed against, common opponents. Because if you're sitting there doing commentary for that amount of time, you're going to need things to talk about. And so you can have these footnotes to help guide you in the play-by-play, especially if a fight goes the distance. You're not going to be talking about, well, the guy's trying to go for a move or an armbar. The guy is trying to transition. You got to have other things going. And so they do have tons of notes that tell them what's what.
But, okay, I understand that. And that's true, because what I was going to say is the reason why I don't care for DC that much.
Is because you don't like AKA?
No, nothing to do with that.
I'm kidding.
What he does is, and what some people might think is a good thing, I just find it irritating, is that he will comment on what's going on in the fight. But before he does that, he usually tells us, the viewers, so this guy just made this move. What he needs to do is this, and this. It's like, I want to know what the guy's actually doing in real time. I don't want to know what he should have done. I don't want to know where his leg's supposed to be. Tell me where his leg is at. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's more for new fans than anything. Because a new fan, like, okay, we've been fans for a long time. We have a better understanding of the fight game than a generic person who only watches because, oh, this guy's fighting? Oh, I want to see that fight. So he does that for, I feel like, the generic fan.
Okay, but he does it too much. I don't want to know 5 steps ahead what the guy's supposed to do. I want to know what the guy's doing. Like, he does too much. He says, what he needs to do now, he needs to put his leg over here. It's like, just tell me where his leg is at.
You know what?
Tell me what's going on.
I want him to talk about the dude's hobbies. Let's just go completely out there. Like,
I don't want to know what this guy's got going on in personal life.
He likes to go surf on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. They say the weirdest things about the fighters sometimes. And normally it comes from DC. And I don't know anything about the homework part, because I feel like he has a lot of fight knowledge. I don't think he needs to do homework. Besides maybe on the actual fighter. But like I said, during the fight.
On the fighter, yes. But as it pertains to watching the fight and talking about it, no. He knows his stuff. He's fine there. But as it pertains to notes on the fighter, I think that's what he meant by that type of preparation and homework.
Okay, but I don't think that's that important. Like, I don't want to know what this girl.
It helps drive the conversation. And so you're not just sitting there. He's got his knee on belly. He's transitioning. It gives you. There we go.
Are you back?
I'm back. Sorry about that,
Are you
folks.
done? Sorry.
I don't know what happened there. Just dipped out
froze,
for a minute.
And I didn't know. Do you know when your screen is frozen when you're talking?
It showed me the circle of death, so I was like,
oh yeah.
Oh man.
So I'm just like, but
sorry about that, party people.
Sorry. Oh, I don't know what you were saying. Obviously.
So play-by-play is what's going on. Color fills in around it. It fills in the scenario. So
now that makes sense because taking for instance Joe Rogan, he will talk about this particular fighter's previous fights or what they have done in their fights. I don't care about their personal life. I want to know stats.
Well, yeah, well that's what color does is gives you more of the stats and the overall on the fighter.
But there is some commentators for UFC that get into their personal life where I'm like, why'd you say that? Like, who cares? Like, you know?
Oh, this fighter likes nachos. Really? Who doesn't?
You know what's funny is Joe Anik, I think one time
John Anik
was and I think who was it, Brendan Shaw brought it up. That's why I remember this. It was funny because he's like John Anik mentioned something about a custody battle between him and like an ex-wife. I'm like, why are you saying that during his fight? Like, you don't need to go that far, dude.
Listen, that is super important information that all fight fans need to know.
Sure. Thanks.
So that can affect him in the fight. That could be weighing heavy on his mind. Like Jeff Neal's DWI.
Well, that's kind of what he was getting at, I think, is why he mentioned it. But I'm like, dude, that was dumb.
That was completely uncalled for.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but DC does say some weird stuff. And also, I'm surprised that he hasn't gotten in trouble for some of it. I think it's funny, but I could see fighters being really upset with him with some stuff that he says.
I know Anik is stuck in between. He's like, I hate it when my two daddies fight.
Yeah.
But you know what? If they got divorced, 2 Christmases. Yay! But hopefully they can figure it out and work together, even though
I don't know. So they had to
will
sit
be
down,
fighting
though?
this weekend. I have no idea if they had to sit down. I'm not sure.
And isn't DC commentating on this fight card here?
I believe so.
He is, yeah.
I want to say it's him, Joe Rogan, and Anik.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Cruz is fighting.
So DC is going to be commentating on Cruz now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what he has to say.
He's going to be like, Dominic Cruz, he's a bitch.
Also, it would be so funny if he dug way into Cruz's life, like pulled out some wacky stuff and just to prove he did his homework.
He's like,
hey, man, you don't want people to know, you know?
How's that leg holding up? Oh.
Damn.
Yeah, so hopefully they get that all taken care of and all figured out because we're tired of hearing about that and we don't want them to fight. We hate it when our two daddies fight.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to talk about bare knuckle fighting. And there was a fight yesterday in bare knuckle. I have no idea who was, I believe it, yes, Thursday night.
Oh.
That's when this other fight we're going to be discussing occurred.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were fights going on in the ring of bare knuckle fighting. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know anybody on the card. I wasn't really invested in watching it. I didn't care. But Mike Perry, who had just recently fought on a previous card, was on at the commentary table, and then UFC I shouldn't say UFC alum, Ultimate Fighter alum Julian Lane started some business with him, and Perry went after him, and they laid hands in the crowd.
Didn't he throw something at?
Yeah, Mike Perry threw something at Mike Perry, which caused a ruckus, and Mike Perry was like, "All right, we'll just do this now."
Yeah, obviously he has no problem doing that. We already know that.
And it's like when Julian Lane was on The Ultimate Fighter, just let me bang, man. Just let me bang.
Well, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. That's funny. Okay, that's a good fight.
And let's see. There's video right here.
Gosh.
I don't know if you guys can hear the audio. See, he threw something at him. Chris Lytle's like, hey, all right. Hey, man, chill out. And then he's like, all right.
Oh boy.
It's dark in the arena right now, but there's something going on because people are cheering.
That's hilarious. Oh my
that's all they show.
How much do you think people were paying attention to this fight after that?
Not at all.
Oh man.
Not at all. I'd have been
funny.
like, I want to see who else is going to fight in the audience. This is awesome.
Well, might as well be. Bare Knuckle is a circus anyway.
It is. It's just a updated version of Tough Man. I appreciate it though, because Tough Man contests back in the day were so fun to watch. But Tough Man, okay, so Bare Knuckle has more skill involved, I do feel, because Tough Man was literally just guys off the streets going, I'm the toughest guy there is. And so they're like, put these gloves on. You're going to go in there and you're going to box this other guy from off the street. Good luck.
Well, I mean, the undercard, completely different story for bare knuckle fighting. Like, it is a circus. It actually is a circus. Like, the undercard is, and some of the main cards, circus, maybe you get to the last few fights that are on the main card, and you'll get something good. It's about it, though.
Very true. Very true. All right, now we're going to move back to the UFC and some other news that's been going on this week. Dana White has been talking to the free agent that we've been discussing quite a bit as of late, or I should say within the past few months, Kayla Harrison. And Dana White reveals UFC in talks with Kayla Harrison. Come over here and fight the GOAT. I presume he's talking about women's champ Amanda Nunes, who, of course, as we talked about earlier, is fighting this weekend. Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes as a future bout in the UFC. Holy, my head just exploded.
I think Kayla Harrison would get it. I don't think it'd be hard, to be honest.
I think so, too, because the motivations are different. Nunes has been so good for so long, and maybe her motivation is just not there anymore. Of course, we will see this weekend. But for a fight like this, Kayla Harrison is super dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually pretty confident Harrison would win.
Same here.
She's a big girl. She's just big. She's bigger than Nunes. They would fight at 145, which is a weight class lower than Harrison's original, because she fights at 155 as a female. I feel like she's too big for Nunes. Nunes,
I do agree.
Cuts weight great for 135, and she also keeps on weight for 145 pretty well, but it doesn't really range too much away from that to where Kayla Harrison's purely cutting weight to get to 145. So,
yeah, that would be a fun fight to watch. Kayla Harrison, though, mind you, folks, is still a free agent, so she could either go to UFC or to Bellator, or even continue fighting in the PFL and just dominate another tournament and win another $1 million. We will see how that goes. I also don't know
what kind of contract UFC would give her, like how many fights,
I imagine it would be X amount of fights. So let's say 5 fights, just an example. 5 fights. She's not a popular enough name to get a cut of the pay-per-view. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I've never seen a UFC contract, but I know more popular fighters, as they progress and they sign new contracts, they get cuts of the pay-per-views. Like, I'm pretty sure McGregor gets a pay-per-view cut. I know boxers do. Like Floyd Mayweather, he gets a cut of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but I mean, I know people love Nunes, but I think people are a little over her at this point because she's been around for so long. She's had the belt for long. It's almost like a no-brainer. Who's going to win? Oh, Nunes if she's fighting. But this one is not a no-brainer. This is something new. It's exciting. You don't know how Kayla Harrison's going to do. And a lot of people know about Kayla Harrison, especially real MMA fans that are keeping up with other leagues also. So you'll definitely have a lot of people watching that fight. I feel like they would give her a lot more money to come over and fight Nunes. And especially if Dana White's already saying come fight the GOAT right away. It's like there's no warm-ups here. It's like this is it. Go for it.
Just throw you in there. I was talking to a friend of mine. She's a novice fight fan. And I was like, oh, so I'm all, you know about Amanda Nunes. She's all, I like her. And I'm like, you've never heard of Kayla Harrison, though. And she's all, oh, who's that? And I was like, all right, check it out. Yeah. She's this bad blonde, right? She's a judoka. She won a gold medal in the Olympics. She's legit badass, eh? Yeah. So I had to break it down. And so even my fight friends, my friends that enjoy fights that are novice fans, I'm getting them excited about seeing Kayla Harrison and the potential that she has to come into the UFC. No matter where she goes, though, it's going to be awesome because she's a phenomenal fighter.
I feel like she should just get it over with and come to UFC already because
I feel she should go Bellator, fight Cyborg, test the waters there, then UFC. But that's me, and that's me in the idea of her developing into.
I don't think she needs developing
into it. You don't think so?
No, I don't. I don't think so. I don't know how who knows how it's going to work out. Who knows? But
I'm sure she'll go to the UFC if they offer her the right amount of money.
Yeah, we'll just see if they'll actually offer that. I don't know.
True. Very true. So we are definitely excited for that. And continuing with the talk of female fighters, former UFC champ Holly Holm has been inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame class of 2022.
That's awesome.
Along with former UFC fighter, because he did have a bout in the UFC, James Toney. No, you don't recall that fight?
No, I do
James Toney. Okay, check it out. James Toney fought Randy Couture in a fight.
Oh, okay.
James Toney was a boxer. I don't recall if he was a championship boxer. I'm pretty sure he was. But he got beat up by Randy Couture. Randy Couture shot a really wide shot from the outside and caught him, dropped him, and he subbed him. And then after that, Randy Couture got his black belt in jiu-jitsu. And then my buddy Motts, who I used to do podcasts with, said, if you choke a black dude, you get a black belt. And that was one of the funniest things I'd ever heard. Yeah, so James Toney was also at one point in the UFC, but only for a fight. And it was just because he was talking a fight. It's because he was talking so much smack about it that Dana White was like, all right, come over here and fight. So he did. And James Toney got his butt kicked by Randy Couture. Holly Holm, on the other hand, has had much better success being a former UFC women's champion and being a, I believe, multi-champion.
Yes, multi-boxing champion.
She accumulated 14 world titles across the junior welterweight, welterweight, and junior middleweight divisions.
Okay.
And Holly Holm also holds notable wins over Christy Martin and Mia St. John. God, Mia St. John was so fine back in the day. Oh my Lord.
Huh. Well, that's that's cool. I like that. I like hearing about women getting into boxing Hall of Fames, especially Holly Holm, who's still competing in UFC. Crazy.
That's very awesome. That's good for her, and congrats to her for
that's great
for getting such an accolade.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, and then we have some other just crazy news. So we're finally hearing about it stateside. I've heard like little things about it here and there, but did you know Khabib helps run a promotion?
I kind of did and forgot about it, and now I'm reminded of it.
Yeah, well, apparently it's in Russia. It's called Eagle FC, and it's finally starting to make its way stateside, at least, or have at least broadcasting wise. I don't believe the fights will be held here. They might. We'll find out. But they're already bringing in a bunch of American fighters. One of them is Rashad Evans.
Interesting.
Rashad Evans hasn't competed in quite some time, and he's making a comeback Don't know
So
who gets
weird.
2 yet to fight on this card. And this fight card takes place January 28th for those wanting
That's
to know.
interesting because Rashad Evans, like ever since he retired, he's always just been about chill and like get high on mushrooms and chill and like I don't know, get all spiritual and stuff.
Yeah, I think
He
that's
even
so weird
said,
that
I
he's coming
think,
back.
that, he stopped because he was so angry all the time. It was like stressing him out and it wasn't healthy for him. I'm surprised he went back to that. So I don't know.
He's also UFC Hall of Famer that was inducted
Yes.
back in 2019.
Yeah.
That's a former light heavyweight champion. It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember his Hall of Fame ceremony. Like I was sitting in my room. I was in an apartment. I was on the second floor. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching, sitting on my bed, and all of a sudden, like the ground starts to shake. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? It was an earthquake, but also I was watching Rashad Evans on stage during the earthquake as well. And he was like holding onto the podium. He's like, oh shit. But I was actually feeling the earthquake as I was watching that happen. It was so crazy. It was really interesting.
That's a trip.
I remember the rest of that night. I don't know if you remember that, but
I do not.
No, probably not. Some people didn't feel it, but it was actually pretty a big earthquake because the aftershocks lasted like an hour here and there. So I was like, man, I was like, because my TV was a little wobbly. I thought it was gonna fall over. I was a little nervous, but that didn't happen. But
maybe
it
God was
just
upset that Rashad was going into the Hall of Fame and he had so much more to prove.
yeah, I don't know about that, but I just remember it was crazy because I was watching the earthquake as I was feeling it, and they were in Vegas, and I was in Fresno.
Yeah. You we're a pretty good distance away, but when something like that happens,
Yeah,
we're not that far away.
Yeah, you're true. Yeah, but that was just, it was odd. It was never, that was crazy.
The crazy thing is Rashad Evans isn't the only fighter competing on this card. That's the thing. They've announced 3 bouts for this card. So we also have Antonio Bigfoot Silva, former UFC fighter, competing on this card. Let's see. He was
I haven't heard about him in a long time.
Long time, right?
Yeah.
He was 19-13 and will be returning to action against Tyrone Spong, who we were just talking about with kickboxing.
Yeah. Yeah, we
and
were.
I thought he was done. Apparently not. He's 2-0 in MMA, which, man, that's a huge record, situation. But Spong is known for his kickboxing more than anything, so he can handle himself on his feet.
His legs are insane. Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. And then also, the other fight that was announced was 2 former UFC fighters. One of them is near and dear to my heart, Cody Gibson. He's from Visalia. He doesn't live around here anymore, but he's from here. We still love him. I'm still a fan, and I will always root for him. And he's an all-around good dude. He's fighting Ray Borg.
That's a good fighter as well. That's going to be a tough fight there. Ray Borg's really good.
Completely agree. Borg has competed once and won a unanimous decision since leaving the UFC. And then Cody Gibson, we talked about, recently defeated John Dodson by unanimous decision. So
yeah, that was crazy.
I'm very interested to see that fight at least. I want to see how the rest of this fight card shapes up, and then how can we watch the fight card?
How can you watch it? I know. I want to watch it.
I haven't seen anything that tells us how we can watch it. So
hopefully, man, I wish that maybe UFC Fight Pass would pick it up or something. That'd be cool.
Maybe because Khabib's involved, but there's Fight TV, there's all kinds of other ways to check it out, especially through streaming.
And it would be at different times, being that it's over there,
Over there, yeah.
So if you're gonna watch it live, it's gonna be at a weird hour.
Very true, very true. So that is what's coming up in January. So we still have some time before that. This weekend, Bakersfield. If you're in Bakersfield, MMA Fight Pass is going to have cage fights. So we're going to have a boxing exhibition, jiu-jitsu exhibitions, and amateur MMA bouts going on come check it out if you're in Bakersfield. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see, if I'm correct, I haven't seen the layout because they're taking care of stuff tonight. I will see it tomorrow when everything takes place. I want to see boxing in a cage. I think that'd be interesting. I feel like everything is so much different in a cage. Like jiu-jitsu bouts.
That's different.
I love watching those in the cage.
Yeah, but Muay Thai is great in the cage also.
It looks more extreme.
It's great. I love it. One championship has that. It's so much fun to watch.
So I do look forward to the fights coming up this weekend. I believe there's also Muay Thai going on in Fresno, Central California, this weekend at the Tower Theater. Yes,
at the Tower Theater, they're having, or I think it's IKF that's putting it on as a amateur Muay Thai competition. So that should be interesting. I will not be attending that, but I'm sure it'll be fun. I think I heard like there was at least a couple title fights on there, so that'll be interesting. I think one title fight is no longer a title fight for whatever reason, but their fight is still on, I heard. But yeah, that one will be good. I think that's kind of cool that they're doing it at the Tower Theater.
It's a neat venue. I know 559 Fights has done fights there.
Oh,
so
really?
It's a really interesting venue to hold
it's cool.
Fights.
It's nice. I like it. So that should be fun too. Crazy all those things are happening on the same day.
I know. And then the UFC. Yeah, super sad face about that, but I will definitely be in Bakersfield for that show. Come out and see it if you're in the area. If you want to make the drive, go for it. We'll see you there. Look forward to it. Is there anything else you got going on that we need to know about?
That you need to know about? No.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here at the MMA Mainstream Podcast. Wow. I'm getting tired. I need to go sleep.
Getting a little drowsy there?
A little bit, just a tad. For the MMA Mainstream Podcast. Thank you for joining us, folks, and we will see you guys next week.